I have performed for just dogs and cats on the road also.
Hello and welcome to Multiverse of Mind presented by Minded Hands, a podcast where we will take you on a journey towards different universes of human mind. As our mind enables us to be aware of the world and our experiences to think, feel, and behave. I, Hannah Fernandez, and my co host Akash Sagar, we are a group of counseling psychologists working towards normalizing talking about mental health.
In our first season, Beyond Professions, we talk about the professions and go beyond the stigmas that are attached to it. We also talk about the thought process that goes beyond the social image of the profession. Today, we are going to talk about music. They say, where the world sleeps, the music speaks. To speak to us in his unique music form, we would like to invite one of such unique personalities, Gladson Peter. Gladson, who is a one-man band, as he likes to call it. He plays 16 instruments simultaneously and is truly a one-man band. He even sings while he plays the instruments, and it's very interesting to see how he plays it all together. He has one of the most unique talents which he has mastered. He is one of the 50 people in the world that could do this. What's your journey till now be like? Like, how was your journey since your childhood towards what you do right now? Just in a small thing.
All right. So to keep it very brief, this wasn't my dream. A lot of people say that, wow, you have achieved your dreams. This wasn't my dream, as in, I didn't dream that I wanted to become someone like this. I wanted to become like my father, which is he's a pastor. So he helps people, he prays for people. And those are the qualities I really enjoyed watching and thought maybe I could be one of them. And another two things was that I always wanted to be a drummer, and you know, and the third thing is I wanted to always be part of bike stuff. I'm a crazy. I love biking and stuff like that. So my childhood dream, one of them was to. I was aspiring to be a motocross racer. Especially not the MotoGP, like the motocross where they do the stunts and all
Yeah.
that. So these three things were like primarily what I wanted to be. But then again, very recently, I started mentioning this that it is also, in a way, a dream come true. Why? Because in a dream, I was, like they say, I have a lot of faith in God. So God spoke to me in a dream and showed me the image of what I drew when I was younger. And, you know, he asked me to put all the instruments together and play. So, yeah, that dream did come true. Um, I've had ups and downs just like everyone else, and I'm grateful for all of them. Some of them were quite low, and I think those are the ones which have shaped me into who I am right now. And the highs are just, um, I can only say I'm very thankful. So it's been quite a journey, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. I know that this is not the end. There's a lot more. So far, absolute brilliance.
That's great. I mean, you know, pursuing something that would come up later on without, even having other passions. And then, it's something surprising. And, as it comes, you just,
Yeah.
play. Yeah. So since you are into, you're a musician and you're into, a lot of instruments and stuff. So when did you first get passionate about, playing the instruments?
Yeah. So I think when I got my toy keyboard when I was really young, my father, he taught me how to play Happy Birthday, right? And I think quite immediately I figured that I enjoyed sounds. I enjoyed the sound of music being very melodious and stuff like that. Um, So this came in at a very young age, and I think how I can put it is it only developed and it kept getting better and better. Yeah.
That's really interesting, and I think so. Can we say that you belong to a musical family? So, like your father taught you the keyboard, right? So,
Yeah. I wouldn't. I would say music. Yes, it has been a gift to both my parents. My dad plays the keyboard, the guitar. He also sings, and my mom also sings. So we've all been part of choirs and all of that. So I think the genes just got passed down.
okay, that's really interesting.
However,
Yeah.
yeah, however, they did not. They kept it as a passion, and they use it in churches. They use it where they can. But for me, I kind of twisted it and put more focus on it. So now I am partially in the profession of music. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I just wanted to ask you about your supporters. As your dad supported you, your mom supported you, as they already know about music. So, who was the biggest supporter or a mentor or a role model that you had in the course of your career?
Um, I don't really know about the course of my career that way because if it's about career, I would have to pick and point it out to music. And I didn't have a particular role model in the field of music per se until I found Mr. Jake Shimabukuro. He's uh, he's an ukulele player from Hawaii, and I stumbled across upon his video in I think the year 2011 or 2012 when I was in college, and my my inspiration. Uh, I, I I don't really remember who else I followed before that as ardently as Jake Shimabukuro. A lot of things he did kind of um, stayed with me. The reason being, I was a huge metal freak. I have been also kind of playing metal when I was younger. I was in a lot of rock bands. I had my own rock band and stuff like that. So a shift from a heavy musical genre onto a very soulful play with the ukulele was a big major change. Even I asked myself, like, wait, what is happening? Why am I not listening to metal music so much? Not that I don't listen to it now, but it's reduced in the equation, if I can put it that way. And um, yeah, my role model still remains him because there's a particular line he said, and I was able to resonate with that, which is that the ukulele is such a small instrument. It has its own limitation, and because of that limitation, it inspires him and motivates him to uh, do more with the less. And I have been able to put that onto every other musical aspect of me.
Okay.
But yes, apart from Jake Shimabukuro as a musical mentor, I would say I really look up to my mom and dad.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. So, since we were just earlier talking, like, you have been busy with the shows and, with all the upcoming events. So, as
Hmm.
this has become your profession. So, we just want to know how you manage your professional life and your personal life as, with a busy schedule.
I think I've had to forget a lot of my personal life as such. So it's kind of like even now it's kind of just mixed. But I do take time out sometimes. Um, so here's the thing: when we do a show, both my younger brothers are very much a part of it. We go for shows together along with my other team. Um, my mom and dad always help me to get ready and make sure everything is part of it. So I don't really know if there's quite a lot of bifurcation between the personal and the professional life. It's almost like right now I'm not the only one gigging, everyone is a part of it. So and also this is not like work. It doesn't come off as work because you're still playing music and enjoying every bit of it. There's also other sides of it than music, because my musical instruments are engineered a certain way, and there is no actual engineer involved in this. So we are just uh, three of us who keep geeking out on new things. We love to try new gadgets. We love to experiment new ways of technology or mechanical aspects and stuff like that. So yeah, I think these things have just blended in. But apart from this, there are a couple of hobbies we all have, and I think during the day we try to pursue them.
I guess so. We have talked about your role model and the things that motivate you. But so there are certain times that you were down. Maybe there were lows in your life or in the music industry itself. So what motivates you in general to wake up in the morning and pursue the whole thing as a career?
So there are a lot of things that put me down, but few things that pick me up, which is I know that when I share my story, someone out there is getting touched or being spoken to, and I don't know of it. Um, there are many times where I felt like I just want to quit because first of all, I probably wasn't getting shows, so it's difficult financially and very stressful as a musician. Okay, what is happening? Why am I doing this? So there are many times you want to quit. Times where or times where it is oversaturation, where there must be plenty amount of work and you just don't have the energy physically or mentally to go for it. But there are things, the results of this, or yeah, when people come and tell me that they are inspired, when people come and say that, hey, we've quit smoking, hey, we've quit doing things which harm us, um, stuff like that. When people say that they are motivated, they are like, they say that, okay, yeah, you were at a low and we are at a low right now and you never gave up and this is the result. Okay, wait, you know what, even I want to do something, and let me give it a second time, second choice, a second attempt, and things like these. When I listen to them say all this, I'm like, yeah, I think, you know what, let's just keep going, it's fine. And eventually I think I went past that point, and now it's more like, um now the things that keep us going is 5 years. It's been 5 years as a one-man band, and times when it was stressful, yes, you felt like quitting. uh,
Yeah.
Times when you heard that people um, you know are inspired, yes, that keeps going. Right now, as we speak, what keeps us going is that we have started to explore uh, crazy innovative ways of doing the same thing, um, or magnifying the entire thing to a whole new level. So one of the drives is that, wait, you know what, we are just creators, not social media creators in, like, you are actually making something which is probably non-existent, or never done before. So let's work on that. So these kind of factors are what is probably keeping me going.
And so you must have, so this is an unusual art, let's say in India itself, it has been an unusual thing to being a musician, and especially what you do, it's one of the 50, like you are one of the 50 people in the world who can do this, which is very
Yeah.
niche. And so there might be some social pressure or the peer pressure that you might be getting because you are a musician and you are into the art form such as music. So do you get any social pressure?
Yes, 100%. I always feel like, oh, what am I going to miss out on if I don't do this? Because yes, although it's a different thing, I don't know what works and what doesn't work. Like for example, if there are four musicians,
Yeah.
let's say two are drummers and two are guitarists, and they are following a particular trend right now. Uh, they can just be one better than the other, but for me, it's like it's a positive side to look at it, that okay, there can't be another recreation of this, so what I do is the only one. But at the same time, I'm not really sure if it will work or not. So I try to overthink. uh, I don't try to overthink, I overthink, and I try to calm myself that okay, you know what, sometimes it's best just to do it. But I've missed out on a lot of areas that way, but I'm working on it. But I'm trying to see, I'm trying to tell myself that I don't have to fall in for a social pressure, to be honest. And I think during the lockdown, we've all seen a huge hit in trends, and everyone wants to do the in thing. I try to be a part of it, and I still try to be, but I don't know if I want to sell myself to that, or rather stick to what I'm able to do and keep doing it at its best. Yes, at times I felt like I try not to get into it, because yes, it is quite a lot of stress that way. So that means you're creating your own stress. Okay, today it's this trend, and tomorrow it's that trend. I think I've just given into the fact that if I do it, I'll do it. If I don't do it, it's completely fine. I'm at that state of mind right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, like, do you take this overthinking? How, to what extreme do you take it, and then you get yourself back to it?
I think up to the point, I don't have a lot. I can't stretch it too much, because I have multiple things which I also do. I mean, so if uh, it's not just the one man band I look after. I also run a music school, and then a couple of other projects. So if I overthink and stretch it too much, I'm actually eating into at the time which I could allot for something else. So I do it only as much as I can, not beyond that. But earlier, yeah, I think I wasted a lot of time that way. But it's been a learning that I shouldn't.
So, yeah, keeping yourself busy with other stuff and other projects, really
Yes.
controls your
Yep.
overthinking. So, this
Yep.
is something I would like to, tell our audience. Here's a tip how to, you know, control your overthinking, because this is something but natural and we all go through it. And keeping yourself busy and occupied would somewhere balance your.
100%. And um, I think for the longest period of time, I would have called myself a workaholic, because I wouldn't be able to um, see myself doing nothing for like 10 minutes. And I'm working on that. So yeah, there was a time I've never really watched as many movies. Then there was a time when I was like, you know what, I need to calm myself. I shouldn't just keep working. So I started watching Netflix. I watched a lot of other stuff. So I was like, yeah, this is a new thing. So I think it's always good to switch off and switch on a little bit every now and then.
Yeah, you know, you need breaks, and and like you said, you need to switch on and switch off. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming to our next question, we are fascinated with the fact that you play 14 instruments at once. So we want to know, how did you train yourself to synchronize with all of it? And because it's a journey that you trained yourself into it. So we want to know how.
So here's the thing. This is, I think, probably the toughest question to answer, and I don't think I've trained myself into it. I think it's something I try to articulate in words later. because for the longest period of time when this question was hit to me, I know my answer, which is no, I did not train myself into it and I did not do anything for it. Then I did kind of try to break it down later, because I know that okay, not everything in life has answers, but if you think a little more, maybe you can find a little answer. So um, I think I figured out that my body is able to multitask. Um, one hint or one clue for me was that as a drummer, uh, four of your limbs do four different.
Exactly.
They have four different actions, as compared to a guitar where your left hand and right hand are doing two things. You don't have to do anything with your legs. Whereas a piano, like not a keyboard, like a piano, it has pedals down, but you can articulate, you can use them to kind of change a little bit here and there. So as a drummer, I think my mind was capable of figuring out a couple of other things as well, and not just one monotonous um, uh, one activity, not a single string. um, Later, I also figured that I was able to run my concentration through two to three different things. So to be honest, uh, because my mind because I had played a lot of other instruments, so my body eventually learned how to play other instruments, and the only thing which was left was to kind of attempt to stitch uh, different activities together. So yes, I played guitar for a long time. Yes, I played keyboard for the long time, or piano for a long time. So if you only see any of my older pictures or videos, my guitar has a melodica fit onto it. A
Okay.
melodica is very much like a keyboard, but it's a wind instrument.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I figured that I don't really need my whole I don't really need all my fingers or my whole hand to play the guitar, because if I had to play it with my fingers, instead of using five fingers, I can also use like two or three fingers. That's more than enough. Same goes with the keyboard and the piano. I just figured that not all the time do I actually use all my
Yeah.
fingers at the same time. Sometimes it's just like two or three or one, depends really. Uh, so when I was designing that thing, that particular arrangement or design,
Yeah.
I figured that four of my fingers could handle the melody on the keyboard, whereas my thumb can. I mean, it already has this action.
Yeah.
So let's just practice it a little bit so that I can play the guitar with this and play the melodica with this. So those kind of things. Um, and eventually also figured that my body is able to think for rhythm, because rhythm was already in me. Sometimes, like for example, I can't swim, even though I've tried so much, right? Sometimes we just have something, sometimes we don't have something, and we have to just accept that. Some people have to put a lot of effort for a particular thing. So I have put a lot of effort into swimming, but I still haven't really succeeded. I can swim like a little bit and then I'll go down. But at the
Yeah.
same time, for me, multitasking, rhythm, and all these things kind of actually came in, I think, with this package. so so all I did was um so the thing about art is the more you do it, the better you get. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, as opposed to consumption of food. The more you eat, the lesser you have to eat, right? Or you'll feel full, you can't have more. But the thing about art is the more you do it, the deeper you get into it, more things to explore and stuff like that. So I think it's all about training your mind um, to do a particular task, b and then the second task, and then just training them to put it together. I know a lot of people keep asking uh, musicians or singers, how do you sing and play a guitar at the same time? It is so difficult. I think that is when I get put on the spot. I don't want them to ask me, how do I do all this together? Because I have no clear answer, but to say that practice is the only way. But again, it doesn't justify for everyone, because I think I have figured that there are some things which people can do, and some things which people might find a little difficult to do. Not can't do, but might be a little difficult to do.
So there's a lot of pressure about performing onto stage and in situations. So how do you tackle the stress that you have while performing somewhere or the other?
I'll put it to I'll look at it in two perspectives. Yes, there is a lot of stage fright and all that. So here's the thing. We get comfortable in a certain task,
Yeah.
right? So um, for me, being on stage is a very comfortable zone. So I think it's the same for a lot of people. Like a lot of people can't sit in the if they are in a car, they got to be the one who's driving. And once they are driving, even if they're very drowsy, they'll be very comfortable. They'll keep us all safe and stuff like that. So that is one side to it, which is uh, doing the same thing over and over again. You eventually get really better at it. But on the other side of the spectrum, when it is how you handle it, is I think is a part where I'm also still trying to learn, because when I tell people about something, it just feels like, oh, it's just very fancy that you feel very comfortable. So, you know, so it doesn't really help the answer. But I think one of the things is doing it over and over again. Doing it for small audiences is a great way to start. I think the more number of people you see, all of a sudden you start thinking, oh, they're going to judge me for this, that. So even the tiniest and silliest of things can come and affect your head, saying that, oh, everyone is going to know. Actually, here's the thing: every performer does so many mistakes, and well, no one really finds out. Or
Okay.
yeah, no one really finds out. And even I've had that thing where I have it even now, that, oh, I screwed up so bad, but honestly I know later that, you know what, only I know how bad it was. So what is a fear? So the next time I go on stage and do it, uh I'm just like, okay, chuck it. I'll just play it. No one's anyway gonna know. So that is one way to start overcoming the fear of stage or being in front of people. Uh, Basically, stage fright, anxiety, and all that kind of things. But I think the best way to uh, look at it is just keeping on doing the same thing over and over again. I know that a lot of people who are probably watching this uh, are also right now content creators who wouldn't be content creators 2 years ago, because 2 years ago we didn't spend so much time in front of the camera, in front of the screen. Even now a lot of people shut their cameras and stay for meetings, but during the lockdown it has made, I mean, if you're not in front of the camera, you're not part of the world.
Yeah.
So situations have turned it around for a lot of people. So I'm sure I've seen a lot of people pick up the ukulele. They have been so camera shy, but they've picked up the ukulele, they've picked up instruments, they've picked up public speaking. And sure enough, they can't really talk to a live audience of even 50 people. But in front of the camera, I think they just kill it. And that is because they kept doing the same thing over and over again. So now they're very comfortable. So in front of people, that should definitely work. And now, for me, it's more like I'm just waiting to see more and more people in front of me, and like, it's like something I'm really looking forward for. Um, but back in the day, yes, even I had it a little bit, but a lot of situations, I did try to look at it positively, and the very fact that all my friends came and told that, hey, you know what, no one else knows that uh, you screwed up, so it's fine. So
That's
those
fine.
kind of things helped me, and I kept doing it over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key tip. You are screwed up. No one knows that. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Like I really, agree with your points when it comes to, people having stage fright and all. The more you practice, the more you perform in front of people, gradually it starts. So I would like to tell audience again, there's another tip here. If you're having a stage fright, or you are anxious about performing in front of people, start it with a small amount of people, small,
yep,
and eventually then go ahead with a large number of people.
yeah. I think the larger number of people will automatically come to you. We just I know a lot of artists who just kept performing to a small audience all the time, and um, yeah, and now they perform in such huge places, and they also say the same thing. Hey, I never really look forward to that, or I never knew that this is going to be part of my life. Even I say the same. I started, so I've been a street performer for like 3 years, I think. 3 years, 3 to 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 2 3 years, I think. Yeah, I'm so bad at dates. uh, so I used to work with an organization called NSPA, which was Natural Street for Performing Arts, and we were licensed to perform in public places in and around Mumbai. So I have done so many shows in all the metro stations, in a couple of uh, railway stations, a lot of parks, a lot of public places like the museum, and places I would have never imagined to see a concert, to be honest. And I was very, very nervous. I had so much pride because, firstly, we didn't have a setup. All you were given is a time slot in a particular place. You just have to take your instrument or sing in that place, and basically, there is no audience as such. Whoever likes your music just stands and appreciates, and you have an interaction.
Like amazing grace has been poured on you, and it's amazing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess I we just wanted to know about how important is mental health to you, and how do you take care of your mental health routine?
I think it would be safe to say that I'm working on it, because
Okay.
a lot of things are new to me. A lot of things are still surprising me, and at times I'm a very emotional person, and I feel things. I don't, not because a lot of people say that men don't care, men don't feel things. I think I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I feel it, I empathize, I sympathize, and I also allow my heart to feel things. If I'm in love, I allow my heart to feel it. If I am hurt by something, it affects my uh, day. You know, so I think I would say I try to balance it out by just uh, being thankful and grateful for the opportunities, and probably looking forward for what new is coming forward. So I think my mental health. So
Yeah.
yeah, I try to keep my balance that way, just by being thankful and looking forward to what's coming up.
That's really great, and it's been helpful for us. And so, do you have any tips for our viewers about what some of the other mental health tips that you can give that you
Yes,
perform? Yeah.
100%. I think from my experience, I have figured that taking a lot of stress in life is not really worth it. And life is short, and you should try to be happy as much as you can. Um, if you're not happy, that's completely fine. Leech on to someone else's happiness, be happy for them. And if you are in a position to uh, you know be a shoulder for someone, you should always be, because you never know, you might need one. And at that time, if no one's there, you know how horrible it feels. Nevertheless, I think just try to be happy all the time, and just keep doing good stuff. Don't do things which hurt yourself, be it anything. That's all I can say.
That's exactly what we were seeking from your answers. Like, do things that would, be helpful for you. And, self love, self care is very
Yeah.
important. Only then you'll be able to face other people and, give the same back to them. So we have come to our last question, and it's for our viewers. And
Okay.
you to give a few ways, and for the viewers who want to go ahead with their passion, but they get pulled out with the career, with job and responsibilities, and they ignore their passions. So what advice would you give them, to go ahead with their passion in life?
I think if you're watching and if you're really young, try out a lot of things before you get to the point of life where you have to work, because you have to support yourself. But if you've already passed that stage, and are already working, and you've invested your time and day and energy, effort, your mind, your education into something, and you still have passion, always try to exercise it. I think exercising it will multiply your talents. The more you keep doing it, the better you will get at it. So that's the only thing. I mean, uh, please do not quit your job and suddenly jump onto this. I don't think that's a wise decision. It's not an easy place to be. You got to give a lot more hours than your 8 hours of shift to be here. But uh, you can always allot a certain time and keep working on it, but never not exercise it, because sometimes it can be stressful. The more but but the more you keep doing it over and over again, you will eventually come to a part of life where that might start feeling therapeutic to you, like for example music or art or painting, cycling, or just riding a bike or anything of that sort. Just keep doing it over and over again. But yeah, if you're young, and if you have the opportunity to do things, explore, and once you find out what you really love doing, what gives you a lot of joy, um, instead of going the way where our education society or society says that go find a job, you know what, try to look at this as you have to invest 8 hours in a particular subject. So instead of going into that particular subject, invest 12 hours into what you love doing. That extra 4 hours and the effort you religiously put in will start showing up. And eventually, maybe you don't have to look for a job anymore. Why I say this is because there are you don't have to have a job to earn money. You need to have a mindset of being an opportunist, and figuring out how you can uh, make it. Uh, as we speak in 2021, there are lots of opportunities where you can make money online and fuel your passion. So if you're young, always consider, um, you know, learning all these things from the internet instead of watching TikTok and Reels videos. Instead of being just a regular consumer, try to put your time into all this. But yeah, on the other side, even if you want to quit your job and stuff like that, if you see a lot of big YouTubers, uh, they do earn a lot of money, but not because of their YouTube videos, because they have figured out the art of making money online in and there are different streams to it. That is why they do what they do, and they're just chilling and we are working. So don't quit your job. Look at those opportunities, and slowly just get into it. I think I'm in a safe space to say that I am learning this process. I have been learning this for the past 3 to 4 years. I haven't succeeded 100% at it, but I know that all I need to do is do the same thing over and over again. During this pandemic, I've helped a lot of people to set up something that way. So, yep, you can always reach out to me, and if I will try to find the time to help out sometime, or if not, just use Google and YouTube, and people have been doing it over and over again. Just figure it out.
Just to share, so just to share your social media information, we'll be putting it down in the description link and also on your screens, so you can connect with Gladson anytime you want, and
Absolutely.
I guess he'll help you any way possible.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Gladson, for joining us today. It was a very insightful conversation that we had, and we could go beyond your profession to know the journey that you've been through, and so we are glad to know your story, and I hope you inspire a lot of other people through this show. It will be great.
Thank you so much, Hannah and Akash. It's been a pleasure being here. And everyone who's watching this, please subscribe to their channel and support them, because you don't have a lot of people in the field of psychology doing this, and they're trying to dig out our brains and getting out the best things, so you can understand a lot more than just know what is going on ahead. Because yes, social medias and all these things just show the front end, but amazing people like Hannah and Akash are digging out the people's brains to bring you to the other side of the spectrum. So subscribe to their YouTube channel, and yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
Being a musician is very artistic, and you need a lot of help from others to keep on with your passion. Music needs both talent and practice, and we all hope that those who want to get into this will put their heart into it. And here's a video of Gladson playing one of his favorite songs. So tip of the day today is keep your mind occupied so that it would be helpful to control your overthinking and your thoughts. We would also like to tell you about Minded Hands, where we have individual sessions for people who need it. We have also a lot of happy customers, and we wish to do the same for the coming years.
Well, that's all for today's episode on Multiverse of Mind. Thank you for joining us today. Join us again next week, where we would take you beyond another profession and take you on a journey through the multiverse of mind. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. See you in the next episode on next Saturday. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.